Hi guys, and welcome to Piano and Keyboard Artist, where we discuss the artists related to pianos, keyboards and synthesizers. And continuing with my Depeche Mode album review series, this is Violator, Part 5. Hello and welcome to the most in-depth Depeche Mode album review series ever conducted by an independent YouTuber. Now, if you've not seen parts 1, 2, 3 and 4, in the words of Mrs. Norris, get out of here! God diddly damn! Get out of here and go and watch those parts and then come back to this one. And if you are up to date, then please bring your chair closer, bring your favorite drink, and let's geek out about this. Now, Francois Kevorkian is so important in the Violator record, the production and the sound of it. Very often when records come out, it's not often that the mix engineer gets so much appraisal, really. But this is one of those rare records where even fans who are not in the production world will know the name Francois Kevorkian. And that is why I feel we definitely need to dedicate a video especially to Francois Kevorkian and the great work he did on the Violator album. Francois Kevorkian is a name which is well known in the Depeche Mode community. Remember that when records come out, it's the fans now often only know the artist and possibly the producer. But Depeche Mode, indeed, the Depeche Mode universe is the institution of Depeche Mode, as I call it. It's that rare situation where Depeche Mode has not only inspired a lot of people to become musicians and producers, but also the community that are not in the production industry. Just the sort of hardcore devotee or fan. They tend to know who the producers were and the engineers, and that is very unusual about the whole sort of Depeche Mode universe. And Francois Kevorkian is just that name. This video is not going to be very long because what can we say about Francois Kevorkian's input into Violator except that it is brilliant and it is genius? And I know that these words get thrown around a lot, but I cannot emphasize enough the importance of Francois Kevorkian. This is nothing to take away from the brilliant songs that Martin wrote. Remember, the songs are the most important thing, really. Remember, you cannot polish a turd, and indeed, this Violator period, Martin provided some of his best quality work. In fact, if you watch the documentary on the Remasters series, you will see everyone from Gareth Jones, Dave Bascombe, all the way up until their publicist, promoters, Andy Franks, everyone saying that Violator is their favorite album. Even Martin Gore said that. So it's no surprise, is it? I will go on to say that if Francois never mixed this, I still believe that this would be a monstrously successful record. But then again, we don't know because, as a mix engineer, you're not only mixing something, you're bringing your creativity to this. And Francois had not only a lot of experience, but he has a tremendous natural gift. He was born on the 10th of January 1954. He is French, and he moved to the USA in 1975, I believe. So he's lived there most of his life. Indeed, if you watch his documentaries or interviews with him, he's a New Yorker. It is well documented, and Daniel Miller said this on a documentary, that it was quite frustrating to work with Francois because you never knew what he was doing, because I think for long periods of time he would disappear into a corner with a set of headphones and he'd be going, whatever he was doing. And that's frustrating because then, that's the natural sense of curiosity with a human being. If I've got headphones on and I'm going, you're going like, what? Let me hear. So I can imagine they'd finished the record and Francois was in a corner with some headphones. And as Daniel said, it was frustrating because you could never hear what he was doing. Daniel Miller also went on to say that Francois is probably the most meticulous mixer he's ever worked with. Martin Gore went on to say that Francois would spend, let's say 2 weeks on a hi-hat. But Martin did say But when you heard that hi-hat, it was a very good hi-hat. So Francois Kevorkian was fundamentally a DJ. If you study the history of rock and roll and popular music, you will find that a lot of the top mix engineers started off as DJs. And that's no surprising, really. I think being a DJ, a good DJ, there are DJs and there are DJs, but a good DJ usually is someone who understands music and they listen to a lot of music. And I think a lot of those types of DJs, they will then go on to producing music and mixing, hence in the case of Francois Kevorkian. And he has, DJ'd at some of the biggest clubs, Paradise Garage, Studio 54, and he's mixed some of the greatest artists in our generation, including the Smiths, Adam Ant, Kraftwerk, Pet Shop Boys, of course Depeche Mode, Diana Ross, U2, and Gloria Estefan. Come on, shake your body, baby, do that conga. No, you can't control yourself any longer. Feel the rhythm of your body getting stronger. No. Gloria Estefan, oh my God. Yeah, Gloria Estefan. Just look at the selection there. The Smiths, Adam Ant, Kraftwerk, Pet Shop Boys, Depeche Mode, Gloria Estefan. This just shows how diverse his ear is and his work catalogue. And indeed, when I interviewed Gareth Jones and Dave Bascombe, both of them said that Violator is the record that they admire the most. We all know that. I've heard a rumor. I heard a rumor. They travel for... Sorry, guys, I'm on it today. I don't know if it was Gary Newman, but it may have been Gary Newman. Correct me if I'm wrong. Who said when he heard Violator, he became depressed because he just thought, how is he going to get to that level? And indeed, Violator is that record which I've introduced a lot of people to. It is a topic of discussion not only on the channel here, but also in the students that I coach. Whether they're Depeche Mode fans or not, I always get them to listen to it. Violator is what I like to call an attack on the senses. It is ear candy. It is not only the great songs that Martin wrote and the beautiful soundscapes that were produced by Flood and Alan Wilder, but also the final cherry on the top is the great mixing, which is done by Francois. And I'm going to put some links below. I want you to watch that. That is your homework. There are 3 links that I'm going to place that on YouTube. There's the Francois Kevorkian Holier Than Thou approach. Then there's also this one, which I like, the Francois Kevorkian Pump Mix. And there's those are on Personal Jesus. And then, of course, there's the Francois Kevorkian Hands and Feet mix of Enjoy the Silence. Now, on the subject of Enjoy the Silence, I'm putting this question out to you because I'm sure one of my super duper geeks or super devotees in the community here will be able to answer me this question. And if you look at the credits on Violator, you will notice that the entire album is mixed by Francois Kevorkian, except for Enjoy the Silence. Now, I've heard many reasons to why that is the case, but I've never heard a reason that I can put down to being the conclusive correct reason, because I've heard so many different versions, and I'm hoping we can, put this myth to bed now. The story that I know goes something along the lines of Francois had mixed the album, but the band were not entirely happy with Enjoy the Silence. They liked it, but they preferred the cassette mix that Flood did. And then apparently Daniel Miller went on to replicate the mix that Flood did, using the cassette as a reference. Is that the story? There is another version of that where I heard that basically the version that Flood did was untouchable and they decided to go with that. I'm not sure, but I would love to know the answer to that, and I'm sure a few of you know that, so please leave your answer in the description below. But indeed, it was the Hands and Feet mix by Francois Kevorkian. Listen to it. I mean, I heard this many years after the Violator record. And here's a question. You know, if the Hands and Feet mix is the sort of sonic version that Francois came up with, how do you think it compares to the Daniel Miller mix, which is on the Violator album? Interesting question, and I'd love to know your input on that. Francois' ability to really lose himself in his craft. A lot of people have said it's down to the fact that he is autistic. Now, I don't know how true that is, whether he is or not, but I do know I have known quite a few friends through my time who have been on the autistic spectrum. And, you know, although autism was sometimes seen as a disability, certainly to me, the autistic friends I knew, to me it was more like a gift. Okay, some of them had these inabilities to express themselves in social surroundings, but they had these abilities to, whatever it was, to really zone into something and just be a master of it. So if Francois Kevorkian is autistic, and I believe he is, I believe that could be one of the reasons why he was so great at what he did. Just like our friend Gary Newman, who we talk about a lot on this channel, he has Asperger's syndrome. Now, full disclosure, I'm no expert on Asperger's or autism and things like that. I am very fascinated by it because I had friends who had it, and they just had this insane ability to be able to block everything out and single-mindedly focus on a task, and just the results were mind-blowing. So I don't know if Francois was autistic or is autistic. I believe he is, but and that could indeed be one of the reasons why he is so intense about what he does and why he's so brilliant at it at the same time. Violator, I've said many times, can be enjoyed for so many reasons. It's not only a record for the fans, it is a record for the producer, it is a record for the mix engineer. It is up there for us to aspire to. You know, when you're mixing and you just want a reference as to what a record should sound like when it reaches the realms of perfection, put Violator on and you'll go, okay, now I'm depressed, my record sucks. Do yourself a favor and just go onto Francois Kevorkian's Wikipedia page or Discogs and notice all the records which he's mixed, and you will see things like the Red Rose from, Arcadia, a favorite that is always recommended to me here on the channel. Kraftwerk, Violator, obviously, Erasure, and of course, Gloria Estefan! Come shake your body, baby, do that conga. No, you can control yourself any longer. Feel the rhythm of your body moving stronger. No, you can get it, body, beat it, bamba, beat, toot. Right, you've probably not learned much about Francois Kevorkian from this video. Of course, that's not the intention. This being a discussion channel, we're discussing. I just wanted to give him a shout out for the outstanding work he's done. Now, we're currently on part 5, and you do know that when we get into the songs, we're going to do 1 song per episode. Now, there are 9 tracks on Violator, so I didn't initially say that this series was going to be over 10 episodes. Well, we've done 5 already, plus another 9. Yeah, it's heading for 20 parts. But as I said, I don't want to leave any stone unturned. And now I've got some more good news for you. I'm going to be interviewing one of the engineers that was on the Violator album, and I'm going to try and pronounce his name. He's an Italian engineer, and his name is Pino, and his surname is Pesciatola. Pino Pesciatola. He was one of the engineers involved in the production of, in the first song, which was Personal Jesus. And I can't wait to get him on the channel. And I want to thank my wingman and admin, Lloyd, for helping me facilitate this meeting. And Mr. Kevorkian, sir, if you're watching, I would love to interview you on this channel. And that'll be a dream come true for myself and this community. Right, guys, to you watching here, please leave your comments in the description below. Answer those questions I asked you regarding Enjoy the Silence. Why is it that Francois' version of Enjoy the Silence was not used? That is something I've always wanted to know the answer to. Anything you want to say about Francois, and anything you want to say about this series in general. Now, the next episode is going to be where it gets really exciting. This is where we're going to start breaking the songs down. The next episode will be all about The World in My Eyes. We're going to break the song down into its parts, playing it raw on the piano, as well as examining some of the iconic samples that I have from the Depeche Mode sample banks. If you've not subscribed, I ask you to please subscribe, hit the like button, and leave your comments and let me know what you thought. My friends, it's been such a blast. I'm really enjoying this series. I look forward to seeing you on the next episode, which will be part 6, World in My Eyes. You take care of yourselves. Adios.